Since the time he was a boy growing up in Wisconsin, Jack Stallings has craved music as a desert.
My first memory regarding my fascination with music goes back to my kindergarten music class. My teacher's name is Mrs. Navarro.
Children, you are not to touch this piano. It is not a toy. The school paid a great deal of money for this instrument, and we must respect it. If any of you is caught touching this piano, you will wish you hadn't. I believe the consequences of such actions to your active imaginations.
On that piano like a moth to a flame. Sometimes so quickly just looking at it. I love the rich sound it made. Miss Malone could play any tune she wanted. Happy, sad, silly, serious. Anyways, one day, for one reason or another, I found myself alone in the music room. I remember tiptoeing over to that upright and gently touching the keys until they made a tinkling noise. It was a magical moment. I've been in love with music ever since. My parents sometimes found my fascination with music annoying.
Honey, he's been asking us for piano lessons every day for 2 years now. I think it's time to relent and let him take lessons.
Isn't 7 a bit young for lessons?
I don't care if it is. I'm ready for a little piece.
That's just what they got. Little piece for me for the next 5 years as I played around on our piano. When I was in the 7th grade, I found my true musical love, the trumpet. But first, I had to do some fighting for my instrument of choice. Actually, our next door neighbor, who was a professional jazz musician, did some of my fighting for me.
Hello, Stanley. Oh, it's hot out there. Come on.
Thank you, Ellen.
Well, hello, Stanley. It's rare to catch you in our living room. I'm so used to talking to you over the fence.
Actually, I've been doing just that with Jack for the last hour.
How does he sound?
So what have you and Jack been talking about?
Well, he's pretty upset.
Maybe none of the girls talked to him today.
I don't know about that. His band director issued him a tuba today, and he's longing to play the trumpet.
That tuba? If he plays the tuba, the girls will never want to talk to him.
Jim.
Well, it's just not a very attractive instrument. I played the tuba for a year, and the girls never wanted to talk to me.
Well, look, I don't know anything about raising kids, but I do teach music lessons, and I've been teaching lessons to kids who want to do anything but take music lessons. You see, Jack really wants to play trumpet, and I think if that's what his heart is set on, you should facilitate that. Now, I don't make a lot of money or anything, but there really aren't that many great musicians in the world. Anyway, I probably shouldn't have butted in. I just wanted to say my piece. All I'm saying is, if Jack wants to play the trumpet, I think you should do everything you can to make that happen.
Stanley, Mr. Stallings, and I are going to go to that school tomorrow and tell that band director that if our son wants to play the trumpet, by golly, he is going to play the trumpet.
There were times my parents would get to read so athletes. The trumpet is quite a loud instrument. I think the trumpet chose me. The first time I pressed into that mouthpiece was like a match made in heaven. I felt like an old couple.
That's good, Jack. Nice sound. Now remember, when you play the trumpet, you're not just a musician. You're also part athlete.
What do you mean, Mr. Kunkel?
Well, in order to play the trumpet, you need to be physically and mentally fit. You need to have a strong diaphragm, and you need to know how to use it. How much do you know about the diaphragm?
Not much, Mr. Kunkel.
All right. Now, the diaphragm is one of the body's strongest muscles, and a trumpet player's best friend. Now, put your hand flat, right where your belly button is, and say, ha, 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 ha. Ready? Do it with me. Ha, 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 ha. Did you feel your diaphragm moving?
You sure did. That was kind of strange.
Now your diaphragm is what allows you to hold the note a really long time without taking a breath.
Well, what about my lungs?
Well, those are important, but they're really just sacs that hold air. Your diaphragm is what controls how much air you use for the notes you play.
Ah, sounds important.
You bet it is. Your diaphragm also controls your volume. Louder! Your diaphragm controls it.
That's called a crescendo, right?
That's right. It's that little marking in your sheet music that looks like an alligator. The best trumpet players are the ones who have such breath control that their dynamics become effortless.
What's dynamics mean?
It's when in the music you play loud or soft. F means forte or loud. P means piano or soft. MF means mezzo forte or medium loud. What would MP mean?
Mezzo piano, medium soft.
That's right. Now double F, that means fortissimo or very loud. What would double P mean?
Pianissimo, very soft.
That's good. Now, there are other dynamic markings, but we'll get to those later. Right now, I just want to focus on getting you to breathe correctly. You want to be real solid down here, but you want to keep your shoulders and your neck relaxed, all right?
Okay, Mr. Uncle.
All right. There are a few guys that I want you to listen to. You can learn a lot from listening to other musicians, and these guys were masters of dynamics.
Dizzy Gillespie and Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, they call Louis Armstrong the Satchmo.
Why?
Well, they said his mouth was as big as the mouth of a satchel, and they shortened it to Satchmo.
My mouth's not nearly that big.
That's all right. You've got a big heart, and that is what you need to be an effective musician.
As I got older, I listened to my LPs all the time. I listened to the song over and over, and then I started to play the song with Dizzy or Satchmo. Eventually, I started improvising my own counter melodies to the things they played. When I was 16, Mr. Kunkel got me an audition with a jazz combo, and they hired me as a trumpet man. I couldn't get enough of jazz. Listening to it, playing it, talking about it. Our combo played a lot of gigs, and even though the crowds were small, they really dug it. Folks, I know you don't like nightclubs. You don't have to come to every club I play.
We want to support you, Jack.
We want to support and chaperone you, Jack.
The other combo members are in their 40s and 50s, and they've been, well, around the block, we'll say.
And I don't know if that drummer has ever been sober.
I grew to love our drunk drummer. It seemed like the more lit he was, the better his solos were. One night, he was really on fire. And after he finished the solo, he shouted, "Take it, Jacko!" And I did. It wasn't the best solo improv in the world, but boy, was it fun. It was like the music just floated straight from his drums into my trumpet. That was the first time that ever happened to me. I've seen a lot of people seem to really channel the music, but I never experienced it myself. It was incredible. Hard to put into words. It probably only lasted 20 or 30 seconds, but it felt like time stopped for me. Somehow, it inspired me to write my first marching routine. Hey, Mr. Company, I thought maybe you could take a look at this for me.
Jack, this is very impressive. How did you learn how to do this?
I've been marching in your band for 3 years now. I guess I just kind of picked it up.
You have a great eye for structure, Jack. And you also have an understanding of how the routine should coordinate with the music. Listen, son, I'd like to hire you to start writing some of our marches. Would you like that?
You bet I would. Thanks, Mr. Kunkel. It was a weird mix, my jazz playing and my love affair with marching bands. But somehow it worked. I even tried my hand at composing marches.
All right, band. Today we're going to try out a composition penned by our own trumpet man, Mr. Jack Stallings.
That was a day I'll never forget. It wasn't the greatest arrangement in the world, but it was such a rush hearing the music that I put on paper being performed. Mr. Kunkel was generous to offer me so many opportunities. I was fearless then. I guess it was because I didn't know any better.